Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Farming Simulator 25 map guide. Today we're going to be taking a look at New American. But before that, this video is brought to you by Earl Huygens and Yuri Straka. Thank you for being farm barons. So the New American map can be found at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Let me read you some of the description. Welcome to the New American map, remade for Farming Simulator 25, featuring terrains with elevations and irregular fields, somewhat significant slopes, to make the most of the new GPS system. The landscape is well wooded with forests for forestry work. The farm comes well equipped with machines for handling animals and a ready-built corral for working with cows. Take advantage of the bales waiting for you to collect on one of your 4 fields that you start with. This map includes 83 fields, 6 forest areas, 10 pasture areas, including 3 flat fields where you can plant rice, fields 85, 86, and 88. 65 fields for agriculture. The BGA can be acquired if you purchase Farmland ID 84. There's a second farm that's available, again, if you purchase Farmland ID 79. There are 4 selling points. I counted 7. Collectibles are scattered across the map. 11 production points. I counted 14, including 2 dairies and 1 sell point, with the other for production. A forklift is available at the store to assist you with pallet loading. Bales, seed bags, fertilizer bags can be found in the main shed. There are lime, seed, and fertilizer tanks at the farm yard as well. The silo contains crops, wheat and oats, and have fun and thank you very much. Let's go ahead and jump back over here to the map and take a look at the PDA. So if we zoom on out, you can see that we do have precision farming installed. And now that precision farming is available, we will be making use of it in our map guides. And we will be taking a look at the soil map for each particular map going forward, just to see what type of soil map is applied to the fields, and if we're looking at a custom soil map or one of the many generic soil maps that come with precision farming. As you can see, this map includes all the standard crops available to us in Farm Sim 25. And if we toggle over here to our farmland overview, you'll see we start out by owning the main farm, which includes Farmland ID 2. So we have Field 2 and the main starting farm. We also have Farmland ID 6, 3, and 83 owned at the start. Should we select to not own the starting farm, well, then we'll have to buy Farmland ID 2. And if we do that, we're going to have to spend $421,000 in order to purchase that. Now, the description mentioned that Farmland ID 79 is a secondary farm. That can be bought for $90,440. In fact, let's go ahead and pick that up. And then Farmland ID 84 is where we're going to find the BGA. We can buy that for $273,112. There was a reference to some flat fields that you can buy in order to go ahead and start out with some rice. I believe 85 and 86 was included in that count. See, we have some meadows up here in 72 and 87 as well. And then various forested areas scattered around. We toggle over here to our precision farming menu. You can see I already have the soil map coming up. And this is going to be using the generic US soil map that is included with the precision farming mod. And as such, you can see we have the Riverbend Springs River bend that is up here through here. And in fact, I do believe that this map is based on Riverbend Springs, because a lot of the roads do remind me of how they work with Riverbend Springs. And we do have the Grain Elevator Museum on this map as a constructible mission. We also have the 25 collectibles that are on Riverbend Springs. With respect to the crop counter, we do have our standard FS25 crop counter available on this map. And if we take a look at our animals, we do start out with a cow barn. Now, I did go ahead and buy that second farm, and that's why we're seeing the sheep pasture. So the main farm has cows, the second farm has sheep. We don't have any actual animals, though, at the start. We do have contracts available on this map, including dead wood and stone picking contracts. So those are new with Farm Sim 25. And as far as our production chains, we own a greenhouse. It's down at the second farm. So if we didn't buy that already, then that's why we don't have our greenhouse. But if you do buy that second farm, you will have sheep. You will also have that greenhouse. With respect to the other productions pre-placed on this map, we have a bakery, canning factory, carpentry, cement factory, cooper, dairy, grain mill, oil mill, paper factory, rope maker, sawmill, spinnery, and tailor shop. And then, as I mentioned, we do have that buildable museum. So that is going to be a buildable mission. And I counted up 7 different sell points scattered around the map. We're going to jump over the vehicles real quick. We do not have any hand tools, and I've already mentioned the 25 collectibles. Let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland overview here, just to give us a general gist of how big some of these farmlands are. The unbuyable land is going to be farmland ID 1. That's going to be 99 hectares in size, so don't get a little confused with that. Again, that's going to be your roads, your town area, your sell point area, typically the things that you're not going to be able to purchase. You see we have fields that range in size from 16 hectares all the way down to 1 or so. So quite a variety in field sizes. And with respect to our animal food requirements, they're fairly standard animal food requirements, so nothing out of the ordinary really here. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and check our vehicles that we own by pulling up our garage menu. We start out with the Challenger MT665 medium tractor, as well as the John Deere 6R230. We have the Massey Ferguson 5713S small tractor and our International 200 pickup truck. We have front loader forks and our front loader Q4M front loader arms. We have the DK280RP trailer. For our plow, we have the POV5 XL. We have a Porsche Credo 3 Power Harrow and the John Deere 980 cultivator. We also have the Porsche Versa seeder. Now, the Power Harrow and the seeder are typically used in combination with each other. And then we have the Persia 4500 2C Super Planter. We have the Breedall K105 fertilizer and lime spreader, as well as the Puler 600 weeder. We have our Massey Ferguson 8570 header. That's going to be combined with our 8570 harvester and our harvester header trailer. We have the Alpine Hit 4.4H tedder. We have the Faro 4010D forage wagon, the GA 4731 windrower, and the Semez KDF 341S front mower, and the XT 390 side mower. We have the SB 1290 ID square baler, and then we have the DPW 1800 Farm Tech flatbed bale trailer. We wrap it up with the RA 142 animal TMR mixer, and then we have a pair of 1500 kilogram front weights and a pressure washer. And that is pretty much our starting machinery. We do own everything in all play modes. So if you should choose to select not owning the starting farm, that's fine. You get all this stuff anyway. In addition, the main farm is pre-built out in not owning the farm as well. This map does not have any vehicles or implements that are included with it. Now, as far as our starting farm, well, we do start here at our farmhouse. We have our wardrobe and sleep trigger up there on the porch. We got water just kind of hanging out here, which does mean that if you do, and you can, sell this farmhouse, well, Walter is just going to float there the whole time. And he's probably going to preclude you from being able to put anything else down. So if you are going to change the farm up, maybe think about leaving the farmhouse here, just because, well, we can't get rid of Walter, and he's going to look kind of weird, just kind of hanging out, floating in the ground, or floating above the ground. We've got our dog, our power washer. Got a nice storage shed here. These do have collisions, so you will be able to stack loose fill types in here. And we also have a fuel tanker. Now, I think this may be the first time in Farm Sim 25 I have seen starting out with bales out on a field. So I kind of like this concept of you're starting out, someone's harvested this for you, someone has baled the land, and these bales are just out here waiting for you to come and pick them up. Also do like the slope that we've got going on here. Feels very natural, rounded, not over exaggerated. Now we're not going to jump too far off script here, but I want to mention that we're literally right around the corner from our vehicle dealer. It's pretty much hard to get any closer than right there. Do have a bit of space here where we can put additional things down. We have a Riverbend Springs starting barn, and inside that barn, well, we're going to find some bales and pallets. So we do have some hay bales over here. We have some silage bales. And then we got a big bag of seed and a big bag of fertilizer. We have storage for seed or mineral feed. We have storage for solid fertilizer. We're a farm silo, and Ben is just hanging out here at the farm silo. So if you do need some assistance, he's going to be able to here to walk you through everything. As I mentioned, we have 10,000 liters of canola and 10,000 liters of wheat. So I was off a little bit. I thought we had oats and wheat, but we have canola and wheat. Of course, we have our dump and fill pipe area there. We have a pull-through 3-sided silage bunker. And all of this at the farm can be sold. Every single thing at the farm can be sold. All the lights that are up, the barns, the sheds, the fencing, it can all go. So we got a nice easy shed with some machinery storage. A 3-bay garage here. We have a lime station where we can buy lime and store lime. We have our cow area there, so we have our slurry. We have our food and our straw triggers here. This is a fairly standard cow area set up for 84 cows. We have our milk trigger, and we have our manure heap. And as I've mentioned, I really do like the lay of the land. I like how this all is here. I mean, maybe I wouldn't want to farm at the bottom of the hill. I think all the runoff is just going to come down there, but you know, the way these all slope, it just feels very, very natural. Let's get a little bit of altitude here. And we kind of look around the farm area. And that's really what we got going on. So as far as land that we own at the start, we own our field here with bales in it. We own this grass field over here beside the vehicle dealer. We have another wheat field here that's ready to harvest. And then we have our field here that is ready for planting. Let's just quickly loop around the map over to our second farm that we own. So we have the BGA that we haven't bought. Then right across the river, we have the sheep farm. We have our water trough. We have our buy point for 42 sheep. And we have our food point there. Our wool and milk point. A nice easy shed. Our farm silo. We have our farmhouse with our wardrobe and sleep trigger. And then we have the greenhouse that I mentioned. And this is going to be a general greenhouse for our regular old run-of-the-mill garden. So let's go ahead and have a little bit more of a look around. So we get a little bit more of an altitude here. And field 79, or farmland ID 79, which is where we have our sheep farm, that is going to be down here in the southeast corner of the map. And again, everything here at this farm can be sold. We make our way across the river here. We're going to find our carpentry production. We come around the side of the building. We're going to find our pallet spawn point. We have our interactive icon also here at the back door. And then we have our dump point for our lumber or logs. I mentioned we do have the constructible museum on this map. And looking through the map files, it does look like we are looking at a pretty standard museum loadout as far as ingredients that we're going to need to deliver our production materials. And those are going to include 36,000 units of wooden beams, 48,000 units of planks, 72,000 units of long planks, 12,000 units of roof plates, 12,000 units of prefab walls, 6,000 units of cement. That would be cement bags. And then we have 6,000 units of cement block. And once we do that and enough time passes, well, then we'll have built out our museum. We do have the collectibles that are a part of the museum also on the map. So as we collect those, they will again spawn within the museum, just like Riverbend Springs. We make our way over here to the River Bend. We're going to find our cement factory. And then we also have the dredge spawn point. So on Riverbend Springs, we couldn't buy the dredge spawn point, and therefore we couldn't make use of it. It looks like that is also the case here, but let me just verify this. Come in here real close. So this is going to be part of Farmland ID 1 that we can buy for, well, just under $21 million. So if you have $21 million, you can buy the dredge. You'll be able to scoop this up and then use it at your cement factory. If you've got $21 million, you probably don't need to get some free rock. At any rate, you got your dump point there. You got your interactive icon and your pallet point, as we might expect with respect to the cement factory here on Riverbend Springs. But in this case, we're on the New American map. We have a water trigger here at this water tower. One of our sell points is located down here. One of the barge sell points. Staying on the southern part of the map here, we have our sawmill. So we have our drop-off point for our logs here at the pond. And then inside we have, of course, Chatty Noah. We have our pallet spawn points. Then I went looking for the interactive icon here and I couldn't find it. Well, I luckily went into wireframe mode and it's down under the pavement. Now you will be able to still activate it if you come up here to the door. So if you come up to the high voltage door, you're still going to be able to activate that to either buy the sawmill or interact with the sawmill once you own it. But the icon itself is kind of hidden. Also, to the south of the river, well, we're going to find our rope manufacturing. right? So we have our spawn point for our rope. We have our interactive icon there. And then we're going to have our dump point for our production goods. No pirate ship, as best I could tell on this map, knowing that this is basically a Riverbend Springs edit. I looked around for the pirate ship, couldn't find it, so I guess it's not going to be included. Here we have our dairy. So we have our interactive icon here at the side, our dump point, and then our pallet point along the other side of the building. We made our way back along the river, this time on the north side. We have another barge grain sell point. This time we're going to have to dump inside here. We'll come back to our museum and then make our way kind of further up the eastern side of the map. We already talked about our lumber mill. I've gone ahead and purchased the biogas plant. So we have two large three-sided silage bunkers there. We have a third three-sided silage bunker right across from the BGA. We have our dump point, our fill point for our digestate. We have our dump point for our slurry. We have another fill point for digestate. Our interactive icon and our digester there. Nice large shed for BGA operations. Across the street, we have our animal dealer. So we can buy our animals there. We're going to be able to sell bales and such over there. Kate's hanging out the front door like normal. And around the back, we don't have our manure or our slurry points. So just beware. We're not going to be able to buy manure or slurry here at this animal dealer. Across the street from the animal dealer, we do have our warehouse where we'll be able to buy in products as well as sell products. Taking a look here, we have then our grain mill. So we have our dump point there for our grain. We have our pallet point and our interactive icon around the back. When we cross the northern part of the map, we now have our cereal factory. Oh, sorry. Our oil manufacturing. That's all on me. We have our dump point there. We have our interactive point and our pallet spawn point. Of course, we have our main starting farm located right here in front of us. And then we've got a pretty busy area directly to the south of that. I mentioned we already had our vehicle dealer directly to the south of our starting farm. That's going to be located right here. With our dealer and workshop trigger located over here. We have our fuel point. We have our canning factory. So we have our dump point, we have our interactive icon, and we have our pallet point there. We do have a sell point here at the farmer's kiosk. We have our spinnery, so we have our dump point, interactive icon, and pallet point there. All these trees made it a little difficult to get around. We have our farmer's market. So we have our dump point for our grain. We have a dump point for our pallets at our farmer's market. We have our tailor, interactive icon, dump point, and pallet point. And then we have our bakery. So we have our dump point, interactive, and pallets. And that should be most of the stuff that's here on this map. Now we do have one thing up here at farmland ID 75 that's also worth taking a look at. And that is going to be the second dairy, which was referenced in the description. But this one is just set up as a sell point. Now, I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comments below with respect to what you think of the new American map that we have here. I kind of like it. Like I said, I like how the land lays. I like how the land ebbs and flows. The hills. And you know what? I think it's a really nice rendition of Riverbend Springs. Are you going to be playing this map? Let me know down in the comments below. And until next time, happy farming.